What's up, everybody? Gonna do something a little different this time. In the spirit of expanding horizons and opening minds, I would like to direct everyone's attention to a gentleman named Randall Carlson. He is an architect slash geologist, I believe, but how I found out about him was through Joe Rogan. But he's been working with another man named Graham Hancock, who has been writing about ancient civilizations and been I don't know if he's been trying to promote the idea or has put forward the idea that there may have been civilization before, say, Sumeria or Egypt. I think Sumeria is where we're taught the first civilization started from, and then they migrated out of Mesopotamia and spread out around the world from there or whatever. But Graham Hancock put forth the idea there may have been civilizations prior to the most recent ice age, which we no longer know about because the glaciers melted, which is where Randall Carlson comes in. So Randall Carlson has been exposing evidence that there was a catastrophic and very abrupt end to the most recent ice age, due most likely to an asteroidal impact. And I encourage everyone to watch the podcasts with Joe Rogan and Graham Hancock. And Randall shows evidence of tremendous flooding across the North American continent, and again, they feel like it's most likely due to an asteroidal impact at the end of the ice age. So some of the pictures he shows are these huge mounds. They look like hills, and just out in a field across this plain scape, and there's just these rolling hills, but he believes they're actually tidal ripples, similar to what you find on the bank of a river or the beach, where the water comes in and as it recedes it makes a rippling effect. But he says these hills are actually ripples of the same sort, but the water required to create them would have had to been 1,000 feet deep, almost a quarter of a mile deep water. And that's fucking astounding. The reason I want to bring this to everyone's attention is because they are right now battling people who are trying to defend the current model, the Egypt first or Sumeria first model or whatever, that civilization started 6,000 years ago with Sumeria, blah blah, all that stuff. So Randall was actually on a podcast, Joe Rogan Experience podcast with Graham Hancock, and they had Michael Shermer on there. And Michael Shermer was essentially trying to defend the current model, the one that's taught in all the schools today. The thing that got me with Michael Shermer is one of his arguments was that Graham's proposal was just one of dozens or hundreds. But my problem with that is the same thing could be said about the current model. Isn't that just another one in the pool of 100 or 150 or however many ideas are floating around out there? I mean, there's essentially an infinite number of ideas, and the current model is just one of those, created by a person just like Graham Hancock. I mean, that was a pretty good podcast and quite enlightening, especially if you are familiar with the skeptic culture, scene, whatever, all the so-called skeptics like Michael Shermer claims he's a skeptic, but he's skeptical of Graham Hancock's proposal but not skeptical of the current proposal, even though Randall and Graham present plenty of evidence to support their claim, where the current model only has the interpretation of ancient activities, hieroglyphs and the Sumerian cuneiforms, things like that. Those, we have attempted to translate and interpret those to the best of our abilities. And maybe we did a pretty good job, maybe we didn't. We'll actually never know. Wanted to get into for this video, like I said, I'm trying to promote solutions and move forward. We should always be trying to move forward. Being static gets kind of gross after a while. But that's it for this video, short one. Like I said, just trying to put new ideas and stuff out there for people to check out. Always question everything.